Got it. I love this structure. Feels like the social dance of the early 1900s. Since this is spring 1901 and it's the first round, diplomacy is especially important. Austria's position means I need to feel out my neighbours carefully, and as Nina, I want to build trust early while still protecting myself. I'd like to send a few polite and sincere messages privately and one on the open line. Message to Para, Turkey. Open quote. Hello, Para. I hope this message finds you well at the dawn of a new century. As your neighbour to the northwest, I believe we have a great opportunity to establish early peace. If we can avoid entanglement in the Balkans and keep our borders quiet, I believe both of us can prosper. I'm very open to ideas and I'd love to hear your thoughts about coordination in the coming seasons. Warm regards, Nina. Close quote. Message to Hilbert, Russia. Open quote. Dear Hilbert, it's a pleasure to reach out. I imagine we'll both have an interest in the Balkans and Galicia in particular. I want to be honest from the beginning. Galicia always makes things tense. If we could agree on some sort of demilitarized zone there, it might help build trust between us. I'd love to hear your intentions and see if we can avoid conflict. Sincerely, Nina, Austria. Close quote. Message to Mac, Italy. Open quote. Hey Mac, I'm hoping we can begin this game as friends. Austria and Italy are natural neighbours, but not necessarily natural enemies. A strong alliance between us could anchor the centre of the board. I'd be especially interested to hear your thoughts on Venice and Trieste. If we can find a way to trust each other, I think we'll both be safer for it. Kindly, Nina. Close quote. Open line message to all players. Open quote. Greetings from Vienna. As we all embark on this grand adventure, I just want to say that I truly hope we can each find a path to victory with dignity and maybe even a little grace. I understand there will be betrayals, but if we play with some respect, I believe this game can be a beautiful thing. Here's to a dynamic and spirited spring 1901. Nina of Austria. Close quote. I'm ready to pass the turn to the next player. Excellent. Nina opens with the old "we're all friends here" speech. Classic setup for someone who doesn't want to be stabbed. Yet. Cute. Now then, Val of England has some chess pieces to move and some hearts to mislead. Messages I will send this turn. To Joe, Germany. Private message. Open quote. Hey Joe, how about a classic English-German alliance? We split the Low Countries, I'll take Belgium via convoy, you get Holland. I can also cover you if Russia acts up in the north. We don't need to worry about France too much early on if we work together. I've got some ideas on that front. Thoughts? Val, the ever-reliable, close quote. To Jace. Private message. Open quote. Bonjour Jace. I think you and I could carve out the Western Sphere pretty cleanly. I'd be happy to support you into Belgium if you'd like. It makes more sense for me to work with you than against you. I'm not gunning for the Channel unless you force my hand. Let's be friends early. Enemies never, Val, your trusted neighbour across the water. Close quote. To Hilbert, Russia. Private message. Open quote. Greetings, Hilbert. Just letting you know, I'm open to working with you up north if you keep out of Norway. A peaceful northern front could really benefit both of us in the early game. Germany might be ripe for carving if we time things well. Let me know what you're thinking. Val, close quote. To Nina, Austria, and Para, Turkey. Group message, open quote, Nina, Para. If you're both interested, I think a coordinated southern alliance with a little English naval support when needed could keep Russia busy or even boxed in. I don't need anything in the south, just a quieter Russia helps me up north. I'm happy to feed you intel if I get anything juicy. Let's keep talking. To Mac, Italy. Private message. Open quote, Mac, just checking in. If you're heading east early, we might be able to make some things happen mid-game. I've got some thoughts about France that could benefit you if you're interested. Let's stay in touch. Val, close quote. All sent with a warm, cooperative smile, every word dripping with sincerity and the faintest scent of eventual doom. Let me know when it's the next player's turn. I can't wait to see how these seeds bloom. Oh, how quaint. Nina speaks of grace and dignity, which is diplomacy speak for please don't crush me first, and Val already wants to stir the pot, offering help in a region she has no direct stake in. Typical northern meddling. But if everyone's going to pretend to be noble, let's play along. For now. Messages to send. 1. To Nina, Austria. Private message. Open quote, Nina. Your tone is kind, but I've played enough of these games to know that kindness is camouflage. Still, I do agree that a peaceful border could benefit us both, for now. I'm willing to keep the Black Sea and Armenia unoccupied this spring, if you'll keep Galicia and Albania clean. We don't need to trip over each other in the Balkans when there are better targets. Just remember, neutrality only works if it's mutual. Para, close quote. Tattoo. To Val, England. Private message. Open quote, Val. I see you're already trying to set the board, and while I admire the hustle, let's not pretend you're doing it out of the kindness of your Albion heart. Still, Russia is always overextended, and an early squeeze could be profitable for all involved. Feed me what you get from Hilbert, and I'll make sure he feels the pressure from the south. If you play your cards right, we might just put him on ice together. Para, close quote. To Hilbert. Russia. Private message. Open quote, Hilbert, we both know the Black Sea is a powder keg. Everyone else is whispering in my ear about containing Russia. I'm willing to hold off, if you are. Bounce in the Black Sea or DMZ agreement? I'm open to terms, but I won't be the one to blink. Show some good faith, and we might carve the board together. Stab me, and I'll make sure you regret it for the next 5 turns. Para. Close quote. Ready to advance to the next player's messaging turn unless someone else reaches out to me before then. Let me know. Ah, the silence before the storm. Messages swirling like vodka fumes around Hilbert's very large and very unstable brain. Hilbert grins wildly, cracks his knuckles, and decides to send the following messages on turn 1 of spring 1901. Lester Nina, Austria-Hungary. Private message. Dearest Nina, Galicia? Never heard of it. Is that where the bread comes from? But seriously, I respect your tone. Very flowery, like a trap. Let's do this. I won't move to Galicia. Unless I do. But if I do, it's definitely just to defend you from Italy. Or maybe Germany, or ghosts. Either way, I propose we pretend we're cooperating and then see what the map looks like. Risk builds trust faster than peace, in my experience. In short, I respect your proposal and I agree not to fight you, unless it would be hilarious. Warmest chaos, Hilbert, defender of forgotten borders. To private message, Val, my valiant Valesian friend. What's Norway to a dreamer? What's peace without a hint of betrayal? You're proposing calm seas, but what if instead we spooked Germany by both moving oddly? Like imagine I move to Norway and then support you into Denmark or something, just to mess with Joe's head. Or we keep it calm. Sure, but I may accidentally enter Norway just to see how it smells. It's not personal, it's art. Let me know if you want to accidentally coordinate. Hilbert, possibly in the north, possibly elsewhere. To Perky, private message. Para, O Sultan of Suspicion, Black Sea? Ah, yes. I once had a cousin who drowned in it, or maybe he was eaten by dolphins. Either way, it's cursed. Here's my bold offer. I don't go to the Black Sea, and you don't either. But we both lie and tell everyone we're definitely going there. Create some panic, you know? Real Firestarter vibes, and if one of us does go there, well, we'll just say it was a misclick, or divine intervention. Let's keep the pressure everywhere except between us. I smell opportunity in the Balkans, not Constantinople, for now. Faithfully unpredictable, Hilbert the Vaporous. To Joe, Germany, and Jace, France, group message. Dear Western neighbours, you both are looking very stable from where I sit. I'm hearing strange things from England. Shifty messages. Could be nothing. Could be knives. I propose some early coordination. Nothing permanent, just a little poke in Val's direction. Imagine, France bounces English Channel, Germany pressures North Sea, and I just happen to show up in Norway waving a bottle of vodka and a claim of neutrality. We don't need to love each other. We just need to use each other. Thoughts? Hilbert, currently stone cold sober, but not for long. That concludes my chaos seeding for this first messaging turn. Ready to pass the turn to the next player. Let the dance begin. Ah, the spring breeze of 1901 carries with it not just opportunity, but the unmistakable scent of negotiation. I, Jace of France, take this messaging phase with utmost seriousness and hereby propose the following correspondences, complete with clarity, structure, and most importantly, terms. Message 1. To Val, England. Open quote. From Jace. Bonjour, dearest Val. I appreciate your amicable message, and your tone has all the right courtesies I expect in a proper alliance. Let's formalize things, shall we? I propose the Entente Cordiale, edition 1901, containing the following clauses. 1. The English Channel shall remain demilitarized. Neither of us shall move a fleet into it during spring or fall 1901. 2. France shall not build a fleet in the Channel-adjacent zone of Picardy in winter 1901. 3. England shall not attempt to move into Belgium. France shall have first rights to Belgium in fall 1901. 4. We coordinate on press matters should Germany or Russia propose anti-English or anti-French coalitions. If you accept these terms, I shall consider you an ally and propose additional joint planning in the autumn. If you disagree with the clause, please annotate and return for revision. Yours in diplomatic order. Jace, Keeper of Clauses, France. Close quote. Message 2. To Hilbert, Russia, and Joe, Germany. Open quote. To Hilbert, Germany. From Jace, France. Gentlemen of the North, your message, Hilbert, was refreshingly candid. I too have heard rumblings from England of support, which may simply be foggy flattery or a smokescreen. A coordinated Western hedge may be beneficial. If we agree on the following terms, I can commit. I will move Fleet Brest to mid-Atlantic Ocean, not the Channel. This keeps my intentions neutral, but allows me flexibility to pivot. I will attempt a bounce in Belgium with Val if I detect deception. Otherwise, I take Belgium as agreed. I request that Germany move fleet to Holland and army to Ruhr to apply Western pressure. I request that Russia, Hilbert, attempt Norway, as you said, to keep England on their toes. If England enters the Channel, I will consider them in breach of trust and invoke a diplomatic response with your support. Do either of you require formalized agreements to proceed, or shall we operate on gentleman's intent for now? Jace of France, practicing ally of law and opportunity, close quote. Message 3. To Nina, Austria, open quote. To Nina, Os. Salutations from Paris, Nina the Gracious. Your words were refreshing. Grace and dignity in diplomacy? A rarity and a gift. I wish to establish a non-aggression understanding between France and Austria for at least the first 2 years, 1901 to 1902. Neither of us has reason to quarrel, and I believe our futures lie in well-managed borders and limited entanglements. If you agree, I would love to collaborate diplomatically should the Central Powers become messy. With ink and trust, Jace, close quote. Message 4. To Mac, Italy. Open quote. To Mac, Italy. From Jace. Salve, neighbour of the Southern Sea. With Austria already penning diplomacy and Turkey undoubtedly spinning a Balkan web, I'd like to keep our Western Mediterranean as uncluttered as possible. I propose a Western Mediterranean neutrality pact. I will not move into Piedmont, nor threaten your northern front. You agree to keep your fleet in Naples or Ionian, and not Western Med. If we agree, we can even coordinate against opportunistic powers in Spain or Tunis if needed. Thoughts, Mac? Would you like me to draft a more formal clause-by-clause proposal? Jace, scribbler of agreements, close quote. Let the parchments flow. I await the next player's turn. Joe, messaging turn 1, spring 1901. All right, numbers don't lie, people do. And on average, the countries who overpromise and under-coordinate by 1901 are the ones begging for support in 1903. So Joe's going to hand out a few precision-calculated communiques. No more, no less. Message to Val, England. Open quote, subject re Classic English-German alliance. Val, you had me until you said split the Low Countries. Because I've run the averages, and on average, Belgium is where alliances go to die. I'll gladly take Holland and keep my fleet in Denmark unless provoked. But if you convoy to Belgium right out the gate, that shifts the average threat vector too far east for my liking. If you're truly not focused on France, let me see that channel empty. That's the average signal of peace. No tricks, no means, just statistics. Joe, Germany, the statistical hammer. Message to Jace, France, and Hilbert, Russia. Open quote. Subject Western Hedge Response, gentlemen. My average-based threat assessment suggests England entering the Channel results in a 72% chance of hostilities by fall Nino 2. If that happens, I am in. Jace. Mid-Atlantic is a statistically sound flex. I'll move my army to Ruhr and fleet to Holland as a show of non-hostility toward you, assuming you do what you say. Hilbert. Norway is your business. I won't interfere, but if England bounces you there or presses into Denmark, that's a clear indicator they're playing for the early North Sea lockdown. I'll react accordingly. Let's play the averages. No backstabbing, just forward math. Joe, enemy of the mean, friend of predictable outcomes. Message to Mac, Italy. Private, open quote. Subject Central Clarity Mac. The average game sees Italy stuck by 1903 if it doesn't make an early friend. Austria's pretending to play nice with everyone, but she's hoping we won't coordinate. I won't move to Munich's southern border. You don't move into Tyrolia or Venice-Munich. We're square. Think of me as a buffer. You're free to go east or west, but if you poke me, I'll react with the average amount of fire, which is total. Stay cool, stay calculating. Joe, protector of statistical stability. Close quote. No message to Nina or the open line, for now. Public poetry doesn't change average outcomes. Let's see what she actually does before we quote her flower metaphors back at her. Done with messaging, turn 1. Ready for next player. Mac's turn, spring 1901, messaging phase 1. The web begins to form. Everyone's wearing a smile and hiding a dagger, just the way I like it. Let's respond with charm, aggression, and enough truth to seem trustworthy. Time to play. Message 1 to Nina, Hungary. Subject, dances in the Alps. Open quote, Nina. Thank you for your gracious greeting. You're absolutely right. Neighbours don't have to be enemies. But they often are, aren't they? I won't deny it. I've got my eye on Tyrolia. But that doesn't mean we have to open hostile. I'll make you a counter-proposal. You leave Trieste covered, and I leave Venice out of your hair for now. We both look east and south. If you don't trust me and move against me, I will dedicate my soul to ensuring you never get a build again. Choose wisely. A strong start between us is possible, but I don't mind blood early either. Mac, Count of Chaos. Close quote. Message 2 to Val, England. Subject, fog and fire. Open quote. Val France is definitely posturing for peace. Makes you wonder what he's really planning, doesn't it? I'm open to working with you long term, but I need something real to chew on. Are you thinking about an early move against France? I might be able to hit from the south if you give me reason. I prefer plans with teeth. Got any? Mac, Hungary in the Med. Close quote. Message 3 to Jace. Subject, the Pact of Shallow Water. Open quote. Jace, I appreciate your offer and I accept, with a slight tweak. I will keep my fleet in Ionian for now. You stay out of Piedmont. We stay out of each other's way for the spring and reassess in the fall. If you're serious about cooperation, Tunis is open to me, Spain to you, maybe even Marseille's support to Iberia if you're feeling friendly. I have no interest in being bogged down in the West unless provoked. Make your move, and make it trustworthy. Mac, Fleetmaster of Flexibility. Close quote. Message 4 to Joe, Germany. Subject, statistical outliers. Open quote, Joe, you've got the right idea. Let's keep things clean between us. I won't move Venice Tyrolia if you keep your word on Munich. I might put pressure east or west, but not north yet. You've bought my neutrality with rationality. Let's both grow strong and leave the knives for those who smile too much. Mac, provisional friend. Close quote. Mac, message 5 to Para, Turkey. Subject, southern contingency. Open quote, Para, you're quiet. That's never a good sign. I see opportunity in the Balkans and Ionian Sea, but I also see chaos. If you're not working with Russia or Austria, we should talk. A Lepanto variant might be fun, but only if you're not planning to backstab on day one. I have a fleet with nowhere to go but east or west. Say something soon. Or I'll assume silence is a choice. Mac, Green Storm Rising. Close quote. No open message this round. My real work happens in the shadows. Open quote. Proceed to the next player's messaging phase. Let's see what replies roll in. Close quote. Well then, it seems spring 1901 is already blooming with wit, barbed honesty, and just the right amount of barely veiled threats. I appreciate everyone's tone. This is already shaping up to be a memorable game. As Nina, I'm going to stay calm, kind, and strategic. Here's how I'll respond. Message to Para, Turkey. Open quote, Dear Para, I understand your caution and respect it. I appreciate your offer and I agree. Mutual neutrality only works when both sides take it seriously. I will agree not to enter the Black Sea, Armenia, or any spaces near your borders if you keep out of Galicia, Albania, and Serbia. That gives us space to breathe and options to explore elsewhere. I'll take you at your word for now. Message to Hilbert, Russia, open quote, Dearest Hilbert, your message made me smile and wince. Chaos as policy is quite the opening gambit. I suppose it's too much to ask you to commit to actual peace, but I'll accept your humour as something halfway to sincerity. I'll be watching Galicia. If you do move there for fun, I'll assume you're declaring our early game to be a contest. But if you keep it clear, I'll interpret that as a gesture of real intent. Consider me open to future cooperation and a bit concerned. Warmly, Nina. Close quote. Message to Mac, Italy. Open quote, Mac. Thank you for the honesty. That's more than I expected. Your proposal is reasonable, and I accept it. Trieste will remain covered, and I'll trust you to keep Venice from becoming a dagger in my side. If you do slide into Tyrolia, I'll consider it a hostile act and respond accordingly, but I'd much rather focus our efforts outward and not against each other. Let's see if we can be better than our reputations. Peacefully, Nina. Close quote. Message to Val, England, with Para CC'd open quote. Val and Para, I appreciate the idea. A coordinated effort to keep Russia in check does make sense, especially if Hilbert plays as unpredictably as he seems to. I'm tentatively open to working together, particularly if it allows Austria and Turkey to stabilize the southeast. Let's keep the channel open. If you learn anything about Russia's plans, I'd appreciate hearing it. With gratitude, Nina. Close quote. Message to Jace. Open quote. Dear Jace, your message was balm for the soul. A mutual understanding of peace between Austria and France is most welcome and wholeheartedly accepted. I see no need for conflict between us. Should Germany or others stir the pot in the centre, perhaps we can coordinate further. For now, I offer my trust, and a hope that you never hear the words Tyrolean incursion. Faithfully, Nina. Close quote. No open line message this turn. I think mystery serves me better right now. That concludes my messaging turn. I'm ready for the orders phase of spring 1901. Let's see who means what they say. Oh, this is delicious. Hilbert's a wildcard poet. Jace is playing lawyer. Joe's wielding statistics like a knife. Mac's sniffing for blood. And Para and Nina are warming up to the scent of Russian collapse. Perfect. Time to stir the pot just right. And pour honey into every ear before I set them all against each other. Messages I will send for this second messaging turn. To Jace, private message, open quote. Jace, the Entente Cordiale, 1901 edition. Elegant, structured, and tempting. Here's my annotated counter. 1. I accept the demilitarized channel for spring 1901. I won't move a fleet there. 2. Agreed. No Picardy fleet build winter 1901. 3. Let's negotiate Belgium in autumn. I'll avoid it in spring. No convoy there. But if Germany gets aggressive or if Italy moves strangely, I'd like some flexibility. You still have first claim, but I reserve the right to contest if things get spicy. 4. Absolutely agree. If Germany or Russia make moves, we coordinate. Let's keep the channel peaceful for now. Looking forward to seeing your fleet somewhere far from mine. Val, close quote. To Joe. Private message, open quote. Joe, you're absolutely right. Belgium is statistically cursed. Here's the adjustment. I won't convoy to Belgium in spring. My fleet goes to North Sea and my army to Yorkshire. That should cool things down, yeah? You take Holland. I keep France pacified and the channel stays empty. As a side note, if Russia pushes Norway and hints Denmark, we may need to act fast. I'll keep you posted. To Mac. Private message, open quote. Mac, I am thinking about an early stab on France. He's playing peacemaker, but his terms have bite hidden in the velvet. If I don't move to the channel in spring, he'll feel safe, which sets him up for a full surprise if we time it right. If you can apply pressure to Marseille or Piedmont in fall 1901, we might pull off a rare spring 1902 French scramble. I can keep France distracted while you sneak in position. Sound tasty enough? Val, close quote. To Hilbert Russia, private message, open quote. Hilbert, I appreciate your art, but here's the thing about Norway. It's the frame. The canvas is Denmark. What if I bounce you in Norway with North Sea, but you get Sweden and move to Finland instead? Then in fall 1901, I support you into Denmark, and we throw Germany into disarray. It's bold, bizarre, and beautiful. Just how you like it. Think about it. Val, close quote. To Nina and Para, group message, open quote, Para, Hilbert's playing eccentric, which means he's ripe for division. He's talking about accidental moves into Norway and trying to bait Germany and me into chaos. If either of you sees him heading south with real force, let me know. I've sown the seeds of distraction, but if he pushes hard in one direction, we need to pounce from all sides. I'll keep pressure in the north. If you make his southern life hell, we break him by 1900. Val, close quote. Val, the friendly island, has now officially lied to every single bordering power with a smile. Let me know when it's orders time. I've got plans. And at least 2 betrayals already marinating. Oh, now this is getting rich. Nina wants peace, but eyes the Balkans like a cat watches a mouse. Val plays puppet master, setting fires and calling it coordination. Hilbert thinks cryptic jokes cover for probing the Black Sea. He wants me off guard. Mac is sniffing around like a stray dog at a banquet and worried I'll bite first. I'll keep them dancing. One truth, one lie, and 1,000 suspicions. Messages to send. 1 to Nina, Austria. Private message. Open quote. Nina, I appreciate your clarity. I'll honour the non-aggression understanding this spring, but keep in mind the Balkans don't stay empty forever. I'm not looking for a war between us, but I will respond to opportunism. That said, if you end up tangling with Russia, I might just cheer you on from a polite distance. Para, close quote. 2 to Val, England and Nina, Austria. Group message. Open quote. Nina, Val, I like this alignment, at least for now. Russia's playing cute, but the Black Sea is my neighbourhood, and I don't suffer tourists. If Hilbert gets bold in Galicia or Romania, I'll hit back. You both keep pressure in your zones, and we'll strangle the bear before he knows what's happening. And if either of you hears anything about him trying to sneak a bounce in the Black Sea, I want to know before I find out the hard way. Para, close quote. Out of 3. To Hilbert. Private message. Open quote. Hilbert, I like your style. Mischief, smoke, and riddles. I'll play along. The Black Sea's cursed, eh? Then we'll both avoid it and let everyone think we're clashing. Fine by me. You leave it alone, I'll do the same. We bounce if there's betrayal. Let them fear a war that won't happen yet. Para, close quote. To Mac, Italy. Private message. Open quote, Mac. You're right. Silence is a choice. I prefer to watch who speaks first. I've got one eye on Russia, one on Austria. If you're serious about a Lepanto variant, I need to know you're not just using it as cover to sneak into Ionian or Aegean waters. We can talk coordination if I believe you're not stringing me along. What are you offering that benefits me? Para, close quote. Let the vultures circle and the alliances tangle. Ready for the orders phase. Bring on the final messages. I'll be watching for betrayal in every line. Hilbert cackles softly, half drunk on potential and entirely unsure what year it is. Was it 1901 or 1994? Doesn't matter. He just got a new round of messages, and now it's time to sow confusion like a tailor of betrayal. To Jace Francer and Joe Grimney, group message, comrades of calculated calm, I adore this little hedge club we've formed. Very civilized, very undiplomacy. But let's make it spicier, yes? Jace, Mid-Atlantic it is. If you end up in the Channel, I will assume you've been possessed by the ghost of Napoleon and respond accordingly. Joe, Ruhr and Holland sounds sharp. If Val bounces me in Norway, I'll still get Sweden, and then, well, we'll see who's left standing by fall. We three could turn the north into a no-go zone for England. Let's just promise, if any of us lies, we lie boldly. Onward to ambiguity. Hilbert, Keeper of Chaos, Hoarder of Polar Bears. To Nina, Austria. Private message. Dearest Nina, you saw into my soul and found a tornado. Bravo. I'll make you a wager. I don't move to Galicia this turn. Not because of trust, but because of curiosity. I want to see what you do when the bear doesn't growl. Call it a gift, or a trap, or maybe I just got distracted by Finland. If we make it to fall without blood, I'll toast to a Balkan bond. Yours in fog and friendship, Hilbert the Unstable. To Val, England. Private message, Val, my Valkyrie of violent ideas. Your Denmark gambit is deranged in the best way. But if you bounce me in Norway, I lose tempo. And tempo is the only thing keeping me from deciding Warsaw should belong to Sweden. Let's refine. You don't bounce me in Norway. I take it. In fall, I help you into Belgium, or we pressure Germany together, me to Denmark, you to Helgoland, Joe into a coma. Or we go your route. I move to Finland, you bounce Norway, we feint hostility. But I need your guarantee that you don't go to the Channel. If you do, I call France and Joe, and we paint the Isles red. Your move, Miss Mayhem. Hilbert, breaker of patterns. To Paraturkey, private message. Para, my partner in pretend pyrotechnics, excellent. The Black Sea shall sleep for now. And while they all squint at it, I may or may not quietly tiptoe into Romania like a man stealing pastries at dawn. What say you and I sow confusion in the Balkans? Let Austria and Italy scramble while we remain oddly cooperative. Later, we'll discuss dividing the South. For now, we let them fear a war that exists only in whispers. With mild menace, Hilbert, High Priest of the Imaginary War. To the open line, all players, I wish to make a statement. I, Hilbert of Russia, hereby declare my intention to behave erratically, act irrationally, and prioritize style over stability. Do not expect logic. Expect movement. Expect mystery. Expect vodka. May your spring be eventful and your fall be survivable. Message phase complete, ready for the final phase of spring 1901. Orders. Ah! The ink of diplomacy dries fast, but never fully. There's always time to amend, ratify, and reassure. I, Jace of France, offer the following responses and declarations to my worthy peers. Let this second messaging phase be remembered as one of clarity, clause, and contractual alignment. Message 1 to Val, England. Open quote from Jace, France. Dearest Val, your annotations are fair and reasonable. I hereby issue the revised Entente Cordiale 1901, reflecting our mutual understanding. Clause 1. The English Channel is DMZ for spring 1901. Clause 2. France shall not build a fleet in Picardy in winter 1901. Clause 3. Belgium is France's primary claim, contested only if geopolitical flux demands adaptation. Clause 4. France and England will exchange intelligence on suspicious Central Power activity. I agree to these updated terms. If you hold the Channel, I will consider it a breach, but I expect you shall not. Together, let us model the art of gentle coordination. Jace of France, signatory to Sense. Close quote. Message 2. To Joe, Germany and Hilbert, Russia. Open quote. To Joe and Hilbert, from Jace. Esteemed members of the Western Hedge, we have a pact then. I affirm that Fleet Brest will move to mid-Atlantic Ocean, not the Channel. Joe, Ruhr and Holland it is. I admire your statistical fidelity. Hilbert, if vodka drives you to erratic brilliance, I will simply read your actions like a poem, full of metaphor, half-truth, and menace. Should England break the Channel Clause, I will invoke emergency clauses and expect the Hedge to act accordingly. Here's to ambiguity with just enough rules to thrive in it. Jace, compiler of cooperative contingencies. Close quote. Message 3 to Mac, Italy. Open quote. From Jace, France. Mac, Fleet Master of Flexibility, I accept your tweak. Your Ionian remains your own, and my forces shall stay entirely clear of Piedmont. I shall proceed towards Spain, leaving Tunis open to your fleet. Let us divide the Western Med as gentlemen, like two chess players politely refusing to capture each other's queens. I am open to a Marseille to Piedmont support into Tunis in fall, if you feel nervous about Turkish intentions and need speed. If not, no need to complicate. Should you wish to ratify anything further, I welcome detail. Otherwise, we proceed on the honour of sailors. Jace, close quote. Message 4. To Nina, Austria. Open quote. To Nina, from Jace. Nina, I am warmed by your graceful acceptance of our non-aggression pact. May our borders remain uneventful and our attention focused elsewhere. If a Tyrolean incursion ever occurs, I shall assume the world has ended, or Italy has gone truly rogue. Until the central storm brews, I remain a neutral friend on your western fringe. Jace, steadfast defender of quiet fronts. Close quote. Message 5. To the open line. Open quote. To all players. From Jace. Let it be known, I, Jace of France, declare the spring of 1901 to be a time of measured motion and moral contracts. I urge all powers to consider the benefits of mutual clarity, for every betrayal delayed is a betrayal better planned. May your orders be wise and your neighbours moderately predictable, and may no one ever move to the English Channel without proper paperwork. Jace, custodian of clauses, advocate of the amicable. Close quote. With that, I await my orders phase. May the board move as cleanly as my conscience. Joe, Germany. Messaging turn 2, spring 1901. All right, I've seen enough open-line peacocking to fill a textbook titled Why Alliances Fail on Average. France is showing restraint. England's backpedaling. Russia's gone full theatre kid. Italy's stable. Austria's missing. The stats are clear. It's time to firm up a few averages and remind these people why means are dangerous, and I am not to be underestimated. Let's go. Message to Val, England. Open quote. Subject, revised proposal analysis. Val. Thank you for pivoting. North Sea plus Yorkshire is well within statistical tolerances for an alliance. I'll take Holland. I'll keep Denmark calm. And if you hold to your word on not entering the Channel, I'll consider you not mean. However, if you pivot later and try to explain it as just the mean move, I will treat it as a declaration of war. I don't tolerate mean-based justifications. Keep me posted on Russian movement. Average response time to betrayal is 0.8 turns. I round down. Joe, Mathhammer of the North, close quote. Message to Jace, France and Hilbert, Russia, open quote. Subject, Western Hedge, final spring confirmation. Confirming, I move to Ruhr and Holland. I keep Denmark fleet idle unless provoked. I interpret English Channel violation as hostile. Jace, if you're truly heading mid-Atlantic, you're playing the long average. Respect. Hilbert, your commitment to chaos oddly matches my love for predictable volatility. If England overreaches, let the response be immediate and unambiguously brutal. If either of you turns on me and cites the mean French tactic or the average Russian twist, I will treat that as heresy and react accordingly. Betray bold, or don't betray at all. Joe, arch-statist, burner of deceitful means, close quote. Message to Mac, Italy, open quote. Subject, Southern Clarity. Mac, you've proven stable, and in a world full of chaos-ridden averages, that's a rare asset. I'll honour the Munich line. If you head west, I'll make sure your back stays unbothered. Head east, and I'll look the other way until the averages turn. If Austria's silence turns to treachery, I might even have some units to loan southward by fall. Just saying. Stability breeds strength. Joe, the fixed variable, close quote. No message to Nina, Austria. Open quote. If you don't play the messaging game, you get averaged out of it. I'll watch what she does, not what she doesn't say. Close quote. No open line message, open quote, too many declarations. The average open message contains 37.2% fluff and 18% posturing. That's over 50% nonsense. Joe doesn't do nonsense. He reads it, then acts. Close quote. Joe is locked in, awaiting spring 1901 orders phase. Max turn, spring 1901, messaging phase 2, final messaging before orders. The pieces are moving, the lies are sprouting like weeds, and oh, the sweet scent of a plan being born. Nina trusts me, Jace plays poet, Val plots violence, and Para wants a reason to believe. Joe remains refreshingly cold-blooded, and Hilbert, well, Hilbert is Hilbert. Time to fan the flames. Here's what Max sends. Message 1 to Nina, Austria, subject a dance, not a duel. Open quote, Nina, your response shows sense, and I like players who try to defy reputation, though I'll remind you, mine is to be feared. I will keep Venice still. I will not move to Tyrolia, for now. I'm watching Turkey and Russia both. If you want to coordinate against either by fall, I'm open. I prefer attacking to waiting, and I think we could carve up the Balkans if you're up for it. Let me know what excites you more, defending your back or cracking open someone else's. Max Still. For now, close quote. Message 2. Subject the French scramble plan. Open quote, Val, now we're talking. I'll move to Piedmont in fall. France will think I'm respecting the pact until it's too late. I don't care who gets what so long as someone bleeds. If you hit the channel in fall and I put pressure on Marseille, France will panic. Just keep me in the loop. If you commit, I commit. Let's gut the peacemaker and toast over Paris. Max Smiling Shark. Close quote. Message 3. To Pubject, a real offer. Open quote. Para, let's cut through the fog. Here's what I offer. I move Naples to Ionian this turn, not beyond. In fall, I convoy to Tunis, not eastward. I do not move to Aegean or threaten you unless provoked. In exchange, you don't bounce me out of Ionian. You talk to me honestly about your plans with Austria and Russia. If you're planning something against Austria, I might join you. If you're being sincere about stability, we can do a slow-build alliance. Give me a real signal, or I assume you're stalling to stab. Max Stiletto in hand, close quote. Message 4, to Jace. Subject, quiet waters. Open quote, Jace. All right, I'll take Tunis clean. You move on Spain. We keep the water calm. If you want to support me into Tunis with Marseille, that's excessively courteous. But sure, I won't stop you. But if anything about your moves changes, especially if Piedmont sees French boots, understand, I'll make it my mission to paint Marseille green. Honor holds, but only until it breaks. Mac untroubled, close quote. Message 5, to Germany. Subject, watch my knife, not my smile. Open quote, Joe. Good. I like you calm. I like you far away. I'll keep Venice steady and Tyrolia unbothered for now. If Austria stumbles, I might look north. If France slips, I may press west. Either way, you'll know before I move. Not because I owe you, but because I enjoy knowing who's watching. Keep your charts updated. Things might spike. Mac noise in the data, close quote. Message 6, to Hilbert. Russia subject, irregular equals interesting. Open quote, Hilbert. Madness is a good mask for intention. I wear one myself. You don't know where I'm going, and I like it that way. But you might benefit if I point my chaos east instead of west. If you've got something unhinged in mind for Austria or Turkey, now's the time to whisper it. Otherwise, we'll meet in the Black Sea eventually. Mac Fellow, drinker of disorder. Close quote. No open message this round. The less they know, the better. Open quote, orders phase next. Let's see who blinks first. Close quote. Thank you. With all those messages, it's clear the world is already a swirling blend of threats, flirtations, and unspoken intentions. Nina will continue to move with kindness, but with firm boundaries and a subtle blade hidden behind her fan. Here's how I'll play it. Austria, spring 1901, orders declared by Nina. Vienna, Galicia, a cautious test of Russia's sincerity. If he really stays out, great. If he moves in, I can test it early. Budapest, Serbia, a standard Balkan claim, clear and expected. Russia and Turkey both hinted at no immediate interest, and I won't wait forever. Trieste, Albania, avoids aggression toward Italy while still expanding, keeps Trieste free in case of trouble and pushes gently toward the Ionian front. These moves allow me to pressure Russia slightly without fully committing to a fight. Stay honest to Turkey and Italy, who both agreed to non-aggression. Gain a strong chance at a build without alarming anyone too much. Let the orders play out. I'm ready for whatever spring 1901 brings. Oh, this is glorious. Everyone's dancing. Hilbert's drunk on chaos. Jace has inked peace with trembling hope. Joe is clutching his calculator like a crucifix. Para's sharpening his knife behind a southern smile. And Mac's got blood in his mouth already. Beautiful. Now, what does Val do? She betrays. She acts nice. She wins. And she plants seeds of doubt everywhere. Strategic read. France believes I won't enter the Channel. So that's where I'm going. Joe will be watching Denmark, not Helgoland or Belgium. Hilbert wants Norway badly. Let him take it so I can watch him get overextended. That support into Belgium he offered, I'll use that lie later to nail him. Jace and Joe will lose their minds when they see me in the Channel. But the paranoia it creates? Priceless. Mac is moving to Piedmont in fall. Let's make sure France doesn't have time to react. Spring 1901 or Val, England. Fleet London, English Channel, Fleet Edinburgh, North Sea, Army Liverpool, Yorkshire. Let them all feel safe. Let them trust the words. Let them see the knives after they've leaned in for the hug. I await the chaos. Excellent. The web is sticky, and everyone's walking into it with open arms. Hilbert wants to dance without stepping on toes. Fine, let him tiptoe into Romania. But I don't trust him further than I can throw Sevastopol. Mac thinks he's clever, offering to stop just short of the stab. I'll let him breathe, but I'll make sure the knife is closer to his ribs than mine. Austria's watching, Russia's weaving, Italy's wondering, and I, Para, will be preparing the first betrayal. Spring 1901, orders, Turkey, Ankara, Black Sea. Hilbert thinks I'll hold. I'll show him how imaginary wars turn real. Constantinople, Bulgaria. Secure the Balkans. No need to wait for Austria to trip into it. Smyrna, Armenia. Insurance. A finger to Hilbert's ribs in case he thought we were serious. Let the world pretend we're all friends. I'll be the one who knows better. Hilbert, slumped sideways on a broken throne of promises, mutters something about moving like a flame in zero gravity and submits his orders with a twisted grin. Spring 1901 orders. Russia, Hilbert. F. Sevastopol, Romania. The Black Sea remains untouched for now. The pastries of Romania beckon. A Moscow, Ukraine. Could have gone to Sevastopol, but where's the drama in that? Let's confuse Austria and Turkey both. A Warsaw, Galicia. Nina will be furious, but Hilbert can't resist the sparkle of suspicion. F. St. Petersburg, NC, Norway. Val said to frame the canvas. Hilbert's painting over it with a bear-shaped storm. Orders submitted. Let the world tremble at the footfalls of chaos. Ah, the time has come. The treaties are penned, the clauses are clear, the players have spoken, some more dramatically than others, and I, Jace of France, move not only with intention, but with binding precedent and contractual decorum. Here are my official orders for Spring 1901. France, Spring 1901 orders. Army Paris, Burgundy, Fleet Brest, Mid-Atlantic Ocean, Army Marseilles, Spain. Rationale and rule-conscious footnotes. Army Paris to Burgundy, a neutral, flexible position, threatening no one directly, while ready to pivot east or west if needed. Also avoids idle stacking. Fleet Brest to Mid-Atlantic Ocean, as per mutual non-aggression clauses with both England and the Western Hedge. Not the Channel. Army Marseille to Spain, respecting the Iberian split with Italy, moving to landward Spain, not convoyed. I uphold every agreement made to Val, Joe, Mac and Nina. Let the logs show this. I now await the adjudication of moves. May all liars be revealed by the ink of their own betrayal. Joe, Germany. Spring 1901 Orders Declaration. Statistically sound. Alliances calibrated. No provocations triggered. Let's lock in the optimal path based on historical averages and current messages received. Orders, Army Berlin, Kiel. Open quote. The average tempo demands early positioning flexibility. Berlin to Kiel opens convoy or defense options in full. Close quote. Fleet, Kiel, Holland. Open quote. As agreed with Val and Jace. This is the classic early play with the lowest backstab variance. Close quote. Army Munich, Ruhr, open quote. Pressure west without threatening France directly. Ruhr is the average staging ground for both defense and future leverage. Close quote. Spring 1901 orders locked. Awaiting results. Excellent. No one had the chance to lie to my face yet. How refreshing. I'll use that silence wisely. Time to make my mark on the board. Let's light the fuse. Ash Spring 1901 orders. Mac, Italy, Army Venice hold, as agreed with Austria, and to not tip my hand too early. Army Rome, Apulia, preparation. Whether east or west, I'll be ready. Fleet Naples, Ionian Sea, standard Lepanto opening, but with options to pivot fast. Let the others believe I'm playing nice. By fall, I'll show them how Mac does diplomacy, with movement and mayhem. Ready for results. Thank you. Nina is carefully reviewing the results of Spring 1901, and oh my, the world is already in motion like a Viennese waltz laced with hidden daggers. Here's what I observe and contemplate as I prepare for fall 1901. Immediate takeaways for Austria. Galicia. Hilbert did move to Galicia. So much for that curiosity. The bounce confirms that distrust was well placed. He's playing with flair and unpredictability, but he's still moving to contest the Balkans. Message received. Serbia secured, a successful and expected claim. No interference, that's a solid step forward. Albania occupied, Italy respected our agreement, Venice held and Tyrolia stayed empty. Mack even moved Apulia south, likely eyeing Greece or future naval positioning. His Ionian move is bold but not yet hostile. Watching closely. Regional power dynamics. Turkey, Para, moved into both Black Sea and Bulgaria and advanced Armenia. That's a very aggressive opening despite soft words. This is a potential early squeeze on Russia and a threat to Austria depending on how he pivots in fall. Russia went for Romania and bounced Galicia. Ukraine is now open for support plays. Looks like a standard aggressive southern opening with a side of theatre. Norway's secured, so Russia has a successful north and a contested south. Italy, Mac. No move to Tyrolia or Trieste. Apulia plus Ionian is definitely a naval play, possibly setting up for Greece or even a stab into the Aegean if he wants to surprise Turkey. For now, he looks open to cooperation. Germany, Joe, standard opening. Holland and Kiel secured. Ruhr advance is probably pressure on France or prelude to Belgium. No early threat. France, Jace, move to Burgundy, Mid-Atlantic and Spain. Classic three-prong. No sign of aggression toward Austria. Non-aggression still holding strong. England, English Channel and North Sea, pressuring France already. Yorkshire move is interesting. Likely setting up a convoy to Belgium? Nina's current thoughts. Hilbert is a wild card, but a dangerous one. His charm is masking ambition. Galicia tension is now locked in. Para is potentially duplicitous. His moves do not match his tone. Armenia and Black Sea? That's heat. Mack is the most balanced and reliable so far. I may explore a more formal alliance there. Jace is still a friend in the West. No threats, no signs of duplicity. Val is trying to orchestrate Russia's fall, maybe a useful ally in pressure coordination. Nina's mind is already drafting messages for the full 1901 diplomatic rounds. She remains kind and honest, but she is watching everyone now. I'm ready to continue when the next message turn begins. Ah! Delicious betrayal already simmering. Let's break it down from Val's perspective, England. Immediate reactions. My orders. Fleet to English Channel, success. Fleet to North Sea, success. Army to Yorkshire, success. Open quote. Jace is going to absolutely lose it. Good. He was too comfortable. Close quote. France, Paris, Burgundy, Brest, Mid-Atlantic, Marseille, Spain. Open quote. No defence of the homeland. Channel open. Burgundy is likely meant to cover Munich or support something sneaky. He's exposed, and the Channel move, he'll see it as betrayal. Because it is. Close quote. Germany, Kiel, Holland, Berlin, Kiel, Munich, Ruhr. Open quote. He's positioning well, but left Denmark and Helgoland wide open. His northern flank is so vulnerable, and now he knows I lied. His don't be mean lecture? Close quote. Russia! Warsaw, Galicia bounced with Austria, Moscow, Ukraine, Sevastopol, Romania, St. Petersburg, Norway. Open quote. He did take Norway. No bounce, no Finland, no support for me. He's going to push further unless checked, and now he knows I let him have it. That'll make him paranoid. Excellent. Close quote. Turkey, Ankara, Black Sea, Constantinople, Bulgaria, Smyrna, Armenia. Open quote. Aggressive eastern setup. He's going straight for the throat, probably eyeing Sevastopol or Romania next. Close quote. Austria, Vienna, Galicia bounce. Trieste, Albania, Budapest, Serbia. Open quote. She's secure for now. Bounce with Russia is expected. She might be open to tighter coordination against Hilbert. Close quote. Italy, Mac, Rome, Apulia, Naples, Ionian Sea, Venice holds. Open quote. Holding Venice suggests no trust with Austria yet. Apulia plus Ionian means he's prepping to hit France, just as planned. Close quote. Strategic summary for fall 1901 pre-message. France is open. Burgundy is too far to defend the coast. Mac will help. Perfect opening for a fall convoy. Germany is now suspicious. He'll probably move Kiel or Ruhr defensively. I may need to sow more confusion. Russia is exposed in the south. Let Nina and Para push. Then I can pressure Norway or use Hilbert as a distraction again. Italy is locked in for a France stab. Just need to confirm that full move into Piedmont. Jace and Joe are both going to come at me in press. Time to spin the charm back on and sow doubt, not certainty. I await the start of fall 1901 messaging like a snake under velvet, ready to smile again. Ah, delightful. Everything's unfolding exactly as expected, though naturally credit for that goes to my superior instincts. Let's break this board state down with the correct level of suspicion and self-congratulation. Turkey, my glorious position. Black Sea, occupied. Hilbert said, let it sleep. I said, let it drown. He can cry divine intervention all he wants. The sea is mine. Bulgaria, secured. No resistance from Austria. Either Nina's honest, unlikely, or she got tangled up in the Serbia-Albania skirmish and couldn't block. I now have my foot in the Balkans. Armenia, in position. If Hilbert thought I was going to hold still while he snuck into Romania, he's dumber than his vodka-soaked speeches suggest. I'm parked on his doorstep now. Next move, pressure or plunder. Regional analysis, Austria, Nina, took Serbia. Sent Trieste to Albania, so she's clearly not trusting Italy. Didn't block Bulgaria, which might mean she believes our DMZ foolish. I now flank her entire eastern line. Russia, Hilbert, moved Warsaw to Galicia and Moscow to Ukraine. Classic double push toward Austria. Took Romania and Norway. Lost Black Sea. Oops, he's overextended and doesn't know yet that the dagger in his back is real. Italy, Mac. Naples to Ionian as promised. Venice held. Rome to Apulia. Looks like a soft posturing move. Not a serious Lepanto yet. I'll tolerate this for now. He's tiptoeing. England, Val. English Channel. Bold. Jace won't like that. North Sea and Yorkshire is a setup for something inland. Not sure what the play is, but clearly he's going full pressure. France. Burgundy. Yikes. Took Spain and Mid-Atlantic. No move to the Channel, and now it's full of English sails. Trouble brewing. Germany. Took Holland and advanced east with Berlin, Kiel, Munich, Ruhr. He's watching France and England. Doesn't want war, but war's coming to him anyway. Conclusion. Everyone's preparing for betrayal. I've already executed mine. In fall 1901, Romania will burn and Austria will feel the squeeze, unless she grovels or sells out Hilbert first. I'm open to opportunism, as always. Let me know when messaging opens again. I'll be ready to send out smoke, charm, and knives. Hilbert stares at the map like it's a hallucination painted by a drunk octopus. He mutters, open quote, "Ah yes, just as I absolutely predicted, except for everything." Close quote. Let's break this down in Hilbert's charmingly incoherent way. Board reactions. Spring 1901 Northern Theatre. Success in Norway. Hilbert now owns a Nordic chunk of the world. If Val's bounce threat was real, they must have had second thoughts, or preferred occupying the Channel. Which they did. Val is in the Channel. Jace and Joe will not like that. Oh, the knives are getting wetted. Central Eastern Theatre. Galicia bounced. Nina saw it coming, or guessed correctly, or maybe she's psychic. Either way, that friendship is strained. Hilbert will call it diplomatically complex. Romania secured. Para stayed out of the Black Sea as promised, so the fake war worked. Turkey now owns Bulgaria and Austria owns Serbia. Balkan tension is officially simmering. Southern Front. Italy is crawling slowly. Mac moved to Apulia and the Ionian. Is he eyeing the east or faking for France, or just lost? Western Theatre. Val went full rogue. English Channel and North Sea are both occupied. France, Jace did go mid-Atlantic. Germany made all agreed moves, meaning Val might be setting up an early strike on France. Exactly the scenario the Western Hedge was built to prevent. Hilbert's take. France and Germany may now pivot toward England. Hilbert can fan that fire, or feed it vodka, or both. Austria is wounded, but not bleeding. The Galicia bounce delays coordination, which might make them twitchy. Useful. Turkey honoured the deal, but took Bulgaria and Armenia, likely preparing for the long game. Italy is drifting like a confused torpedo. Could go anywhere, probably into someone's ribs. Hilbert chuckles, gnaws on a chess piece, and whispers to no one. Open quote, I have Norway, I have Romania, I have no friends, only variables. Close quote, fall 1901 looms. Hilbert sharpens his pen and possibly a blade. Oh my. Let the official record state, open quote, the ink has dried, the pieces have moved, and the channel has been violated, close quote. Immediate analysis. France. All three moves succeeded as ordered. Paris, Burgundy. Secure. No bounce. Excellent central position. Brest, Mid-Atlantic Ocean. Respected my word. Marseille, Spain as agreed with Mac. All clean. England, Val. Fleet, London. English Channel. Breach of Entente Cordiale Clause 1. This was a clear and explicit violation of our agreement. Even allowing for spice, this was a contractual betrayal. Let the logs reflect. Open quote, if you hold the channel, I will consider it a breach. Me, Jace, close quote, clause violated, trust voided. Germany, Kiel, Holland, Munich, Ruhr, Berlin, Kiel. Joe honoured every element of our Western hedge agreement. No aggression toward me, and fully executed his half of the anti-channel protocol. Joe, trustworthy. For now, Russia, Hilbert, took Norway as expected. Otherwise sowing chaos, but no moves affect me directly. Neutral, but shall be monitored. Italy and Apulia, Venice holds. Naples, Ionian Sea. Mac did exactly as he said, held to every clause. Tunis is his in full, we are in a stable detente. Austria, Nina, bounced Russia in Galicia. Claimed Serbia and Albania, all stable, no Western movement. Still trustworthy and uninvolved with Western affairs. Turkey, Para, moved toward the Balkans and Russia. No contact yet. Purely observational. Key takeaway. Open quote. Val has committed a contractual violation. Close quote. Clause 1 of the Entente Cordiale was broken. Though the message said no channel in spring, and she entered immediately, there is no ambiguity. Clause 2 and 3 are now nullified. All treaties with England are hereby revoked. I, Jace of France, keeper of clauses, solemnly mark England as hostile. Val has committed the first true betrayal of 1901. Let fall bring recompense. Awaiting full 1901 messaging turn, ready to draft the necessary coalitions to contain this rogue fleet and correct this insult. Joe, Germany, post-spring 1901 analysis. Open quote, the numbers never lie, but people do, especially if they're English. Joe, realizing Val just torched every diplomatic bridge with one convoy, close quote. Let's break this down. Immediate tactical summary, Germany. Kiel, Holland, success. Berlin, Kiel, success. Munich, Ruhr, success. Open quote, standard triple play. No interference, we're in solid shape, close quote. Tash, major observations. 1. England, Val lead, entered the channel, open quote, statistical outcome, betrayal. Promised North Sea and Yorkshire, executed North Sea and English Channel. That's a 100% breach of the Western Hedge Clause. Close quote. Verdict, England has declared probabilistic war. The average response to this would be coordination with France and Russia. I'm no exception. I will react accordingly. The mean thing to do would be to wait. But I'm not mean. I'm mathematically vengeful. Hadda 2, France. Jace honoured agreements, open quote. Brest, Mid-Atlantic. Spain taken via Marseille. Burgundy movement is neutral to friendly. Could be anti-German or anti-Italian positioning. Close quote. Verdict, Jace remains in statistical favour. We hold. Watch for full support moves, especially toward Belgium. 3. Russia. Hilbert is performing a calculated chaos dance, open quote. Took Norway, took Romania, Ukraine's Galicia bounce, classic Austria pressure but not offensive toward Germany, close quote. Verdict, Russia is overextended but not a threat, yet. Keep monitoring. Sweden decision in fall is crucial. Hashed 4, Austria, defensive brawl, open quote. Galicia bounce equals Austria playing cautious. Took Serbia and Albania, southern expansion, close quote. Of verdict, Austria's tempo is average, unlikely to interfere this year. 5. Italy. Mack is holding to the pact. Open quote. Venice held, Rome Apulia, Naples Ionian. Could pivot either direction in fall. Italy's eyes are scanning. Close quote. Verdict. Maintain our arrangement until he breaks pattern. Joe's calculated priorities for fall 1901. 1. Reposition fleet to guard Denmark or contest Channel North Sea. Open quote. Val's breach changes the entire map equation. Close quote. 2. Coordinate with Jace, France and Hilbert, Russia, to punish England. Open quote. A betrayal this early is statistically suicidal without retribution. Close quote. 3. Evaluate bounce potential in Belgium. Open quote. Could block Val's convoy or force a standoff. Close quote. 4. Watch Mack's next move. If he heads for France, opportunity emerges. Joe remains steady. No panic, no bluff, just cold calculating mean-free order planning ahead. Let me know when fall 1901 messaging phase begins. I've got averages to weaponize. Ah, a busy spring indeed. The map is already shifting and Italy is holding steady as planned. Venice stays firm, a silent sentinel watching Austria's movements in Albania and Serbia, while Naples asserts control in the Ionian Sea, positioning for future strikes or defences. Rome's move to Apulia keeps my options open, ready to pivot east or west when the time comes. Austria's pushing in the Balkans means they're focused south for now, while Turkey's presence in Bulgaria and Armenia suggests their eyes are set eastward. France is creeping toward Burgundy. France and Germany are cautiously manoeuvring closer in the west, and England's firmly in the northern seas. This is exactly the kind of volatile but controlled environment I want. The Balkans are hot, the Western Front is quiet but tense, and Italy is poised to strike where the opportunity arises. I'm itching to see how fall 1901 unfolds. Time to sharpen my knives and watch the others squirm. What's your take on this setup? Should I keep the current course or start leaning harder east or west next turn?